Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg is being sponsored by Best Buy Signs, creator of the Omaha Parks Program, OmahaFastFoods.com, Certified Transmission, Sholdit, Rotella's Italian Bakery, La Peeps Restaurant, Two Men and a Truck, Shout Weekly, Critter Control, Russ Kaplan Investments. Welcome to Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg, the show that will leave you feeling great about yourself, Omaha's heroes, and Omaha, where we live, work, and play. So park yourself on the bench and have fun. Hi, and welcome to Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg, the show that you turn into each and every week for that feel-good opportunity where you learn new motivational vignettes. And this week, we're going to be doing 3 of them that you can take with you to everything that you do during the week. Then we're going to be talking about a nonprofit organization and teaching you about the wonderful things that they do right here in the Omaha community. Now, I do need to ask you a question. What were you doing when you were 9 years old? Were you making money? What were you doing when you were 12 years old? Were you making money? Well, the one thing you're going to learn from Mark Wehner is how to make money, how to be successful. Because Mark currently is the president of the Omaha Board of Realtors, and he's got a magnificent entrepreneurial background to teach you great things, even if you're not an entrepreneur. So we look forward to talking to Mark in just a few moments.
Thanks, Andy.
Because I am so intrigued about how you built your life. And I want everybody to learn from you.
Thank you.
So be sure that at the end of our talk about the nonprofit organization, that you'll be ready for lessons from Mark. Now, I do want to ask you this question, and the question is as follows. Have you ever seen anything in a room that is very, very heavy? You know, those big boxes of things, or something that is huge, and somebody comes over to you and says, you know what, I'd like you to lift that. Even if you work out a lot, let's assume for a moment that this box or this package is 500 pounds. Now you're going to look at that and you're going to say, that's impossible. I can't lift anything that's 500 pounds. You've given me an impossible task, something that cannot be done. And actually, you walk away from it, even if you work out in the gym. And that's a shame, because I want to take each and every one of us back to the times when we were in high school physics. And that problem was actually given to us. We learned how to raise that. We learned how to raise 1,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds, or any amount. Remember how? It was the pulley system. Remember that? Where you had to arrange ropes and pulleys, and then all of a sudden, based on that design, you were able to pull something with not a lot of effort. And all of a sudden, that 1,000, 2,000 pounds in theory, and actually in reality, would happen. Now imagine if you have a heavy burden in your life. Imagine for a moment that there's a weight on your shoulders and you run around and you say, I can't take that off. It's just not for me. I don't know how to do it. And you carry that burden, you carry that weight with you in every place you go, in everything you do. What I want you to think about is going back to the days of high school physics and create your own pulley system. Create that formula, create that method that's going to lift that weight off of you. And there are so many ways to do it. There's a support group. It's getting it off your chest. It's identifying what that weight is and creating a pull system to get it off. So never ever carry those weights around again. And always remember the pulley system and let that pulley system work for you. Now, I also want you to think about an electrical outlet. Don't look in your rooms, but I want you to visualize in your head right now what an electrical outlet looks like. So here's my question to you, and that is as follows. That electrical outlet, how many outlets do you picture? Did you picture 2, one on top of the other? Well, that's the common one. Well, guess what? There are outlets with 4 outlets on it. Now picture that. You've just doubled the amount of energy that you can put into something. But let me ask you this question. That energy that you're just talking about on that outlet, are there plugs in it or is it empty? Because what I really want you to think about is the outlet filled with plugs. And by the way, you can put extension cords in there also. You see what happens? Sometimes we think of something and we just do the standard. But you have just taken yourself through an exercise that allows you to multiply, that allows you to expand, and gives you the opportunity to charge things up. Pun and analogy certainly intended. So from now on, when you think of an opportunity, just don't think of it as standard. Think of it as an expansion. Think of it being fully plugged up. Think of it full of energy that you can utilize anytime that you want. It is now the time in the show that we talk about a nonprofit organization. So we're going to be talking today about the Healthy Omaha Kids Alliance. Listen to this very carefully. The Omaha Healthy Kids Alliance is a children's environmental health profit organization that works to promote green, safe, and healthy housing for children and their families. Childhood lead poisoning, injuries, respiratory diseases such as asthma, indoor toxins, and increased risks of fire are some of the health outcomes linked to substandard housing. The objectives of the Healthy Homes movement are to ensure that all homes are dry, clean, ventilated, pest-free, safe, sustainable, energy efficient, and green in order to promote the health and safety of families. Since 2006, the Omaha Healthy Kids Alliance has served over 2,000 families in the Omaha area by providing in-home assessments and education about energy efficiency and healthy homes. They have trained individuals on healthy homes best practices and certified more than 300 contractors to be in compliance with the EPA and RRP rule. For more information on healthy housing and how to donate or how to get involved with the Omaha Healthy Kids Alliance, please visit omahahealthykids.org or call 402-934-9700. And now we all have the opportunity to meet Mark Wehner. And I got to tell you something. I just want you to listen to this. At age 9, he turned a penny into $25. All right, doesn't sound that good, but did you do that? At age 12, Mark went ahead and got himself a 5-figure income. 5 figures. And then he joined an organization as an adult, part of the Rexall organization, and worldwide became one of their top producers. And then, of course, he joined his real estate family, 4th generation of real estate, and became a trainer in real estate, a top producing agent, winning just about every award that's possible. And what's he doing now? He is president of the Omaha Board of Realtors. Let's learn from Mark how he can take his entrepreneurial drive and desire and transfer it into your life. Mark, I hope I got all your accomplishments in there.
Did my mother write that?
No. I actually did a lot of research,
and
I didn't see any quotes from your mom.
Okay.
But what I did find is all these wonderful successes. So take us back to when you were 9 years old.
Oh boy.
And you got that first penny, and you turned it into $25. Was it a magic trick? Did you sell something? What'd you do?
No, actually, I went to a coin show in Norfolk, Nebraska with my father.
Okay.
My dad was a numismatist. The numismatist is a coin collector.
Okay.
So we went to the coin show at the Norfolk High School.
Right.
And there's all kinds of coin entrepreneurs, coin vendors, coin stores, coin collectors.
Sure.
And they're from the gymnasium to the hallways to the cafeterias, tables set up, and it was just packed.
Right.
And it started at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm getting very bored. You know, you're 9 years old and you're watching all these things. What am I doing sitting here? And my dad looks at me and he goes, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I don't know." I said, "I'm gonna go look at all this money around here. There's a lot of money."
Yeah.
I mean, it's all little envelopes, but look at all this money. And he goes, "You want some of it?" He goes, "Then go get it." Huh. I said, "Well, how am I gonna do that?" He says, "Well," he takes out a 1954 plain penny,
right.
BU, brilliant uncirculated, puts it in a little coin folder with a little clear cellophane, you see both sides of it.
Right.
And he goes, "This retails between 17 and 25 cents.
Huh.
He goes, "I'm going to give it to you.
Right.
And when you sell it, you can pay me back 15 cents.
All right.
And I went, "Okay, and you can keep the profits."
Okay.
And he goes, "And see if you go sell it."
Okay.
That was at about 10:15 in the morning.
All right.
I didn't see my dad again until they were taking tables down after 5 o'clock.
Did he disappear or did you do business?
I disappeared and did business.
Okay.
And so what we did was I walked out in the hallway and I looked at the gentleman. I had a little red book and I knew that the wholesale was between 12 and 19 cents and retail was 17 to 24 cents.
Right.
I knew I had 15 cents in this thing.
Yeah.
And I walked up to a gentleman, I says, "Would you buy this from me?" You know, the old poor-looking child, "Would you buy this from me?" And I played
Sympathy
that.
sale.
Sympathy sale.
Yeah.
And he says, "What do you want for it, son?" And I go, 20 cents.
Yeah.
And he looks and he says, well, I know it's worth a quarter. He goes, okay, here's 20 cents.
Right.
So I took that 20 cents to the other side of the gymnasium
No.
and bought something out of a grab box
No.
for about 15 cents, kept the 5 cents, and I bought about a 35-cent coin for 15 cents, and I did that all day until about 10 minutes after 5.
Exponentially.
Yes, and I came back to the table, Dad was picking up, he goes, where have you been?
Yeah.
You missed lunch.
Yeah.
Well, Dad, he goes, did you ever get rid of that penny? I reached in my pocket and I pulled out $26.91.
That's amazing. And had you ever had sales experience
No.
before? So what gave you the confidence to go around and sell something that you knew nothing about? I mean, nobody does that, Mark. Come on.
I don't know. I tell you what it is, and that's when you look, I didn't realize what happened at that point in time.
Right.
And at that point in time, I made a breakfast decision. I
Okay.
kind of use that in my presentations. The breakfast decision is really simple. There's bacon and eggs.
Right.
Okay. Well, in a breakfast decision, the chicken's involved and the pig's committed. Okay?
Okay.
So I decided if I'm going to take this and try to develop this out,
Right.
okay, I need to be committed to what I'm doing. So
Right.
I set a base goal of $5.
Okay.
See, back then, minimum wage that would have been 1961. That
Sure,
dates me.
sure.
But I want to make $1 an hour.
Yeah.
If I can make minimum wage, I'm happy. If I can
do
make
all right.
$5, maybe $6, I'm doing good.
Right.
Well, I made $5 by 11 o'clock.
And this is all at 9 years old.
9 years old.
Now, I want to key on a couple of things. Number one, he talked about commitment at 9 years old. He talked about goal setting at 9 years old. He talked about tenacity at 9 years old. I don't know how old you are, but when you hear these words, what does that do for you? Do you think you're thinking about somebody else like Mark? Or are you taking these concepts personally? Are you adopting them to the things you want to do in your life? The answer is, hey, if you haven't done it yet, let's just start right now. There's no reason to wait any longer. So I want to fast forward.
Okay.
So now you're 12 years old,
Okay.
and you've got bigger goals, bigger aspirations. You're probably full of tenacity, and you say to yourself, now I want to make 5-number income, thousands of dollars. What do you do?
I wish it would have happened that way.
Okay.
How it actually happened was Dr. Menard lived about 8 houses down from where my parents lived.
Okay.
His wife was in the hospital, very ill, and I was out cutting my lawn.
Okay.
And Dr. Menard drives down the street, stops, and goes, Mark? I go, yes, Dr. Menard. I've known him for years.
Sure.
I'm growing up there.
Yeah.
And he went, would you cut my grass for me?
All right.
And I go, sure. And I said, do you want it trimmed?
Uh-huh.
And he goes, well, if you cut it, I'll pay you $5.
Right.
And if you trim it, I'll give you another $1.
All right.
And I said, okay, fine. So I got done cutting the grass, went and told Mom, I'm going to cut Dr. Menard's lawn. So I went and cut the lawn. I did a nice job. The man behind him saw me trimming it,
Right.
with the hand trimmers.
Oh, sure.
And he goes,
Never seen that.
yeah, he goes,
anywhere.
I was going to invent the weed whipper, but didn't get
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
But the gentleman behind him, Mr. Baxter,
Right.
comes over the fence and goes, you did a nice job. He says, what do you charge? And I went, $5 and $2 to trim.
Raise your prices.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in demand,
Yeah.
And so he goes, great. Well, all of a sudden in the first week and a half, I had 9 lawns to cut
Amazing.
just by word of mouth.
Amazing.
Okay, and I went, okay. And then we're down at Little King's, which just used to sell chili footlongs down at the corner with a couple of my friends. And I said, listen, I said, I've got a couple of lawns I need to mow, and we had baseball practice.
Right.
Little League. And I said, I can't do it myself. I tell you what, I'll pay you $2 and you $2. Again, you cut it in an hour, and they were making
Right.
double minimum wage
Right.
by
And you
then.
made him trim it.
Yeah, and trim it. I said, I gave him $4 if he trimmed it. Well, I'm
Right.
making it's like a bookie. I'm making the push, So I was making $3. They were getting paid $4, so I was always paying my help more than I was making.
Sure.
And within probably 9 to 10 weeks, I had 61 lawns.
Now, I have to correct something
Every
that you're
week.
saying. I have to correct something.
Okay.
You stated earlier when I told you about how much money you made, well, I didn't do anything. Well, that's not true. He did. Somebody told him to do something, and he said, you know what, you've set the expectations for me, Mr. Customer. You told me to cut your lawn, but you know what, I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to add value to what I do. And
Never
then
thought of that.
That is exactly how he built his business. Pardon me, it wasn't by accident. It was by design. And then, of course, he says, you know what? I got other things to do. I'm going to hire people. You did not give yourself enough credit. You actually went out there and made it happen, which is significant. It's terrific.
You know what's interesting? If I look back, one, the commitment, one, the undying thing to just have fun at it.
Right.
I mean, you had to enjoy it. But if I look back, the one thing that probably kept me going is everybody was telling me, "Oh, that'll never work.
There you go.
You can't do that."
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you're only 12 years old.
Yeah.
Well, by the end of the summer, I own 12
Yeah.
lawnmowers.
Do you know why people say that? they're self-introspective.
Yeah.
They say to themselves, I can't do that, and if I can't do it, this guy certainly can't.
Yeah.
But people will encourage you to do things that they do, and they will discourage you for things that they know they can't.
Well, see, if you listen, the consumer will give you the answers.
Yeah.
Because about September, October that year, Dr. Bernard walks out and he goes, well, now you're cutting my grass. He goes, you do a nice job. He goes, do you shovel snow too? Oh. And he gave me the business.
Sure,
I went,
sure.
Absolutely, I shovel snow.
Yeah.
Didn't have a snow shovel,
Right.
but guess what? I went down to the hardware store, bought 5 snow shovels, 6
Right.
snow shovels. I
Right.
owned 19 snow shovels the first winter, and I was paying everybody 50 cents, and
Right.
10 guys that hit our football team, basically, we hit.
I could just see you as a motivational speaker at age 12, talking to your crew. Get out there, guys, increase that productivity. Go ahead and do it. I could just see you do that and get everybody energized and everybody excited.
It's fun.
Great start. It set the base for who you are right now. So what's this Rexall thing all about, being one of the top performers in the country?
Well, it's interesting. Rexall Showcase. I lost my sister in '96 to breast cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
And my daughter had some challenges with lumps in her breast. And I heard a gentleman talk at a meeting. I went to a meeting just to hear what they were doing because they were in my office building.
Right.
And I'm in the back, wasn't even invited to the meeting. I'm in the back and he's talking about this product that has a U.S. patent to remove breast mammary tumors, developed the M.D. Anderson Cancer Center, started the Cleveland Clinic, and Rexall, the trusted name for 100 years in this country, bought the patent.
Okay.
So I called my sister's oncologist,
Right.
Dr. Fagler, Dr.
Okay.
Clarkson, and I said, is this real or not? Is this smoke and mirrors?
Right.
And Dr. Fagler looked at me and he goes, if that product was around 6 years ago, Sue'd still be here.
Right.
So it wasn't the money.
Right.
I went, wait a minute, I can change somebody's life with this. So I'd ask people, I'd ask, like this Permission Marketing, Seth Godin's book.
Right.
I like to ask permission to share something with you.
Right.
Because I made a promise to myself that day, if I knew anybody that had breast cancer, prostate cancer, I made a promise to myself I'd at least share it.
Right.
Not sell it, share it.
Right.
Well, I learned about this in February 1999.
Right.
In July of 2000, a little over a year, 14 months later, there was 117,000 Rexall distributors in the world.
Oh my.
I was number 2.
Out of 117,000.
Yes.
You were number 2.
Yes.
What was the drive that got you there? Did you want to be number 2?
No.
No. Did you want to be number 1?
No. The drive was, Zig Ziglar, as basic and as silly as it sounds, you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want.
Yeah.
And literally, when I was opening checks up for $20,000 a month,
How old were you?
I was what? That was 1999. So do the math.
Okay.
I'm 62 today.
All right.
Okay. And so, but the thought process was very simple. I looked at this from a standpoint of, I was sharing something, and I did go to the consumers. I went and talked to the doctors,
Right.
and I met them casually. And next thing you know, it just kept word of mouth.
And the one word that we talk about when we talk about Mark is passion. Because as I define and decode what you said, you found something you're passionate about. Passionate about meaning you're helping other people.
Yeah.
And when you had that as part of your portfolio, your presentation portfolio, in addition to whatever product he was selling or representing, he had that passion. And you can watch Mark talk. You know right now he's passionate about what he does. So you had that career, and then you followed into your family's legacy, as I like to call it, and you entered the real estate business.
Yeah, none of us could get real jobs. We all
Okay.
got real estate.
Yeah, now the agents out there certainly don't want to hear that because we need those agents. So you took what you learned as a kid, you learned from being part of Rexall, and you translated that into the real estate business, and you won just about every award that's out there. Yeah. Now, I'm going to ask you the same question I said earlier, and I hope this time your answer is different. Did you want to win those awards?
No.
Still going to go with
Yeah,
that?
well, I say that because somebody asked me this once before.
Okay.
And metaphorically, they said, how do you do this? How do you run your business? And I said, well, I run my business, typically my life, like a pinball machine.
All right, explain that.
They go, a pinball machine? Yeah. I says, most people say, geez, Harvard School, business school, 1927.
Right.
Set your goals, create a business plan, put activities in the plan, activate the activities,
Right.
run them, evaluate them, set new goals. That doesn't work 86% of the time, according to the SBA. 86% of small businesses fail every year because they follow the business plan.
Right.
Okay.
And you do it different.
What's missing?
Yeah.
The passion.
Same word we used
Okay.
before. Same word.
That's the DNA of the success that
Right.
people. It's the missing link.
Right.
Well, why like a pinball machine? We're taught to do what? Shoot the ball and
Right.
watch the score.
Right.
Track it. measure it, track it, and while the ball's bouncing down, you're flipping like crazy and the ball drops. And you always watch the score. Well, my thought process was, I shoot the ball.
Right.
I work on my skills, on my ability. I know where the high points are, where the low points are. My goal is to keep this ball up as long as possible. And then when it finally drops, then I check the score. Too many people watch the score and fail.
Great analogy.
So that's how it works.
Great analogy, but we have to remember that some of our viewers do not know what a pinball machine is. So what we have to because they
Atari,
play video games,
right?
A
video game.
Whatever app you're using, whatever game you're using, take Mark's information and you think about the game that you play, and then you're able to associate, which I think is just a marvelous thing to do. So you're very, very successful. What is one word, in addition to passion, that you can have a viewer understand as to what they can do to be as good as you?
Fail.
Fail?
Fail.
But you haven't failed.
Yes, I have.
I haven't heard it.
Your success is in direct proportion to how many times you fail.
Right.
Pure and simple. Too many people are fixing to get ready.
Yeah.
And business teaches you ready, fire, aim.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is ready, aim, fire.
Right.
Okay? The more mistakes you make, the more you find out that, geez, that doesn't work, but what does work?
Right.
And it's the faster you fail, like, listen, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you want to buy this car? No.
Right.
Okay, what do you want to buy? If I start trying to sell you something or talking about something that you don't want, I'm burning daylight.
Absolutely. And the information that you have, and I normally don't plug books, so this is not necessarily a plug, but Mark's got a book with everything. 1440 is the name of his book, and it's The Secret to Entrepreneurial Ventures, which is the need to create and sustain momentum. It is a magnificent book that Mark has written based on his successes. And it's very, very important because you could see what he's done. But you know what? You could be sitting in this chair. You could be the one that's being interviewed. You could be the one that tells your story. But you don't have to be in this TV station. You don't have to be in this show. You can tell your story of success the minute you get those goals. The minute you say to yourself, you know what? I am my own entrepreneur. I am the one who's 9 years old. I am the one who's 12 years old. I am the one who's passionate about what I want to do. I am the one whose awards will recognize everything that I've put into my life. I want to talk a little bit about real estate. As the president of the Omaha Board of Realtors, how is the Omaha real estate market today, and why is Omaha such a great attraction?
Well, what's interesting is that I get that question asked a lot now in my office. And if I go back, it's a sense of community.
Okay.
I travel the country, I speak all across this country, and there is truly no place like home.
Right.
There's, this benefit, that benefit, but you walk and take a look at the Omaha community, and the thought process comes down to something very simple. We have a work ethic here.
Right.
We have a school system here.
Right.
Every community has crime, but guess what? We don't have the peaks or the valleys here. It's pretty balanced.
There you go. And that's why we call the name of the show your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg. Because Mark is high on Omaha. Mark is high on himself. And you could tell that that is the reason why you should be high on yourself. Why you should be high on the city of Omaha. Why you, every time that somebody asks you, where do you live? Don't put your head down, Omaha, Nebraska. I bet you never heard of it, but you feel sorry for me. Quite the opposite. I live in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm high on Omaha. And by the way, I'm one of those individuals that will consistently make Omaha a better place for everybody, for myself, for the community, and you know what? We all benefit because the market continues to go up. Mark, what you have told us is absolutely magnificent. I want to thank you so much. And I want to add to that because I want to talk about an expression called the light at the end of the tunnel. I hate that expression. And I bet you one of the things that you visualize is that you are stuck in a tunnel and you're trapped, almost sometimes like in life. And you say to yourself, wait a minute, there it is. It's the end of the tunnel. That's where I want to go. I see the light. I hate it. Why? Because it's not the end of the tunnel. It's the beginning. It's the beginning. The moment you see that light, the moment that you have that opportunity to step outside of that tunnel and you turn around, that tunnel is now open. Anytime that you feel yourself trapped, Anytime that you're looking for that light, that's when you begin to say to yourself, there's my opening. I got to walk faster. I'm not at the end. I'm getting closer and closer to the beginning. I'm getting to where I want to be. The faster I get there, the more passion I put into it, the more energized I get to it. That light is there for me. Because, by the way, that opening at the tunnel, it was built. It's always there. And remember this, for every exit sign, there's an entrance. Every exit sign, there is an entrance. And that becomes so important. Mark, I want to go back to you real quick. If there was one thing you wanted to have anybody remember from the interview that we just had, what would that be? And give me a quick answer on that.
The person that will help you succeed is in the mirror.
Excellent.
You know, look in the mirror every day.
Right.
That's the person that gives you a raise.
Right.
That's the person that also lays you off.
There you go.
That's the person who controls your attitude, and
There you go.
the person in the mirror.
There you go.
Every day.
So when you look in the mirror, you've got to say to yourself, just like Mark said, I'm the one, because I bet that's what you do each and every morning.
You have to.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You're in charge. You're the one in that mirror. You're the one to take control. So let's review a little bit what each and every one of us has learned this week on your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg. Number one, we talked about the heavy weights that people carry around and that we always say to ourselves, I can't get it off. Well, you can. Build your own pulley system that people have used to carry on very heavy items. We also learned about the electrical outlet. Quick, what were you thinking about when I said electrical outlet? Were you thinking about those 4 outlets with everything being charged up? If you did, you made progress. If you didn't, you can and will make progress. We also learned about the light at the, fill in the blank, you got it, the beginning of the tunnel. Because for every exit, that turns into an entrance. You got to find that opening. You got to let that light attract you. We learned a lot from Mark Wehner about how to be successful, how to set your goals, and how to be the individual that when you look in the mirror and the mirror looks back at you, you know that that person is the one that's going to be the right person to make you very successful. Hey, by the way, next week, we've got Dr. Ari Cohn who's going to be here. What's his claim to fame? He recently came back from the White House. Now, you might say, big deal. Well, he came from the Oval Office and the Situation Room. You're going to learn from Ari how to get the goals done. So return next week to your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg. See you then. Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg was sponsored by Best Buy Signs, creator of the Omaha Parks Program, OmahaFastFoods.com, Certified Transmission, Shold-It, Rotella's Italian Bakery, La Peeps Restaurant, 2 Men and a Truck, Shout Weekly, Critter Control, Russ Kaplan Investments.